Here we are back for part 2 out here at the Canterbury Trials on a beautiful Monday morning. I'm snuggled up here in Bass Hill, Sloppy Joan. It's about 27 degrees now, boys.
Where's your Betfair tracksuit?
So I haven't got a Betfair tracksuit. They fucking brushed me.
Oh,
don't worry about it. I'm dirty about it. They said it would match my hair colour.
Dear Mark, hi Mark, I'm a new gold subscriber and truly appreciate the work all you guys are putting in. That includes you, Matt, even though you've turned up today.
Thank you.
I've been in gambling for a long time and fully understand the vagaries of the sport. So I understand that you're not going to shoot the lights out every week. That's why the show is valuable. It's huge fun to watch each week, even if we didn't get any winners. Love Gordo's confidence, Glenn's cynicism, with Mark being the referee of sorts, all very entertaining. My question is, could you please focus a little bit more on the merry-go-round that's the trainer-jockey partnerships at the moment? I used to love backing Abdullah on Godolphin only a few months ago. Now he seems on the outer. Bowman riding for them now sometimes, question mark. Where does Schofield fit in with Waller now? Used to be able to pick the Waller top choice by jockey, but now? Do jockey managers being pro-punters put some owners or stables off? Josh Parr.
Hang on, Tommy Berry.
What a fantastic advertisement for the game went on Thoroughbred Central. Will Gerald stick with him?
Oh, come on, be fair dinkum.
Yes, he is.
Who now rides the pick of the Waterhouse horses? It's not Hippo. Is McAvoy aligned with anyone at all? You get my drift? I think you could spend a couple of minutes every week updating us on the inside info about these jockey-trainer relationships, because I think it's a valuable tool to know who gets the pick of the rides from any given stable.
Well, I really don't think anyone gets the pick anymore in any stable, do you, Mark?
Yeah, they do. Huey gets whatever he wants.
Oh, he did also mention a PS here. Sorry, I bumped in there. You need to find a spot for at least one of the keys every week. They're both very good judges, which is true. We only try to get, you know, good people on the show. But we brought Matty Taylor in today, and that's best regards from Lindsay.
That's a hard and tough Matty Taylor too.
Thanks for your email, Lindsay. I think you're right there, and we need to keep a bit on top of the which way the stables are going. But at the moment, they all seem very hard to read.
It's if you get a handle on it, it is very valuable.
So, what are you talking about in particular there, Gord? Because I mean, like at the moment, can't you just trust anything that Keren's on? It doesn't matter where it's come from.
Well, for me, if there's 3 Waller horses in the race, particularly if they're lightly raced, and Hugh Bowman gets the ride on one, that's the one you're interested in.
Is that it? That's simple though?
Simple, yeah.
I don't think it is, Gord. I think it's more obtuse than that.
So many jockeys dating each other's sisters and brothers and stuff like that. Like, you just don't know the family fallouts that happen weekly.
Speaking of jockey sisters, how's Aaron going?
Macy, I haven't seen Aaron for a while. No, he's good.
Why'd you say jockey sisters? Who's the jockey sister there?
Whitney.
Oh. Cut.
I'd sort of, I'd guess that Claire Cunningham horses are going to be ridden by Jay Collette.
Right, but you say Brad Widdop is Christian Reith, but it's not necessarily, it's Josh Parr.
Well, it's Christian Reith in the bush most of the time.
Yeah. So your brother-in-law gets the bush rides?
Well, I don't know how it all works out, but I think it's an interesting email, because I think it has become a bit of a merry-go-round. They tell me that at Waller's stable, when you the jockeys turn up for track work on Tuesdays and Thursdays, that Waller grabs a big broom and chases them out of the stable, because he doesn't want anyone riding for him.
I think another thing is
he's got his own track work riders.
The weights have changed in regards to nominations getting updated.
Yeah, so right. So weights move around now, don't they?
Yeah, Walter was telling us he might have Josh or Tim booked on a couple of horses, but if the top weight gets scratched, everything goes haywire, and he might lose. His jockeys might not be able to ride at the new weight.
Yeah, because the weight's come down.
So that's only happened in the last 3 or 4 months, I think. So
yeah, that's a recent initiative where the weights are removable feast. So I understand that bit.
Well, what about Shinn has primary with
Snowden?
With Snowden,
does he?
Well, I think so. And K-Mac would be sort of like just behind second. I mean, this is what the question is.
How far away did J-Mac back? Is he back in less than 6 months now?
I want him back.
Did he get 12 or 18 months?
He got 18.
He's back in 6 months then. So what about James Cummings, the Godolphin? Who are we nominating to be number 1 there? Is it Glyn?
Is it Glyn?
Well, shouldn't it be Glyn because of the relationship with Dominic and James and Glyn?
No, I'm starting to think that Gunn is the number 1 for Hawks now.
Well, that's because Tommy Berry left. Does that matter? You don't want to back Hawks anyway.
But that's what he's asking, isn't it?
But what they're saying here is the variables are, it's not cast in stone like it used to be once.
Yeah.
Where the Waterhouse runner would have the, whoever was number 1, National Winner, you know what I mean?
Who's B Baker's number 1 then?
Well, I think he's a Jay Collett fan. I think he's a bit of a Thai fan. I think he looks for that sort of...
Not horses for courses?
A little bit, yeah. Okay. I think he fiddles around with them. B Baker half the time doesn't know what he's doing. That's what we like about B Baker.
I tell you what, I love watching. I didn't even watch the Embley race. I just watched
B Baker. Oh, it was fun to watch, wasn't it?
Oh, it's just amazing.
No, he loves it.
He loves
Yeah.
watching a race
Loves
from. He loves watching a race from the betting ring.
Yeah.
He loves it. Everyone's round. His wife was next to him.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Did he still have it? Did he have a bet? You see him in the ring?
No. Yes,
We saw Danny
have to get
Williams
on
back
for
in
it.
She
No.
Knows in race 1.
It was so funny because
Oh, really?
Bjorn has a bet occasionally, Bjorn has a bet occasionally, Bjorn has a bet, and he came and said, what do you think of Embley? I said, Bjorn, it just can't look better. I think it's going to win. He says, it's going real good. And I said, look, it's 650 over there. I think it's really big odds. And he pulled his wallet out and he went, and then put the wallet back in his pocket. And I thought, oh, it's a fucking moral.
Yeah.
That's all I thought. It's like I wanted
So
to,
you ran over and took the 650?
I just wanted to retext all my punters that got Embley on top, now triple your bet, because the bloke, you know when you're going to have a bet and then you don't?
Always win.
They're morals. It's weird. Let's get to
Nothing
this
better
next
than
one.
that. Hi guys, Matt writes, I backed into Lockheed as pre-post $6 with corporates after seeing your collective confidence on the preview, so I wasn't affected by the outcome. Unlike another disgraceful decision to take a Group 1 off these remarkable in WA a few years ago, but that's another story. I'll quickly reflect on the problem, then provide a solution. The stewards or integrity departments are living in the 50s by going behind closed doors to make these decisions. The first thing that has to happen is these need to be played out in the public domain. In recent years, we've had greyhound stewards in New South Wales pouring swabs down the drain. The chief thoroughbred steward in Queensland has just been sacked for sexual harassment, obviously a champion. And the only way they could be more bent in the trots is to sell Menangle and turn Goulburn Supermax into a prison farm and let the inmates run the races.
Great paragraph.
No longer can stewards hide behind the role or position and say the position deserves a certain amount of respect or freedom to make decisions behind closed doors. They are still human beings, and where can see a head start, there will always be the temptation to take it. The solution. They always seem to come back to, would horse A have beaten horse B if the interference didn't occur? This is always going to be a subjective decision. Why not say the horse was affected, we don't know whether it would have won or not, so we're going to declare a dead heat. Less chance of the punters getting completely greased up. The two owners groups are splitting the spoils, so again less downside for them. Mr. Volandis can take the idea to Mr. Massara and say, have I got an idea for you?
But I've mentioned this idea 2 or 3 years ago, and I've mentioned it a few times.
You have. Yeah. And it's getting another go. If your jockey's protesting the Golden Slipper after interference, we can determine a dead heat and you can have 2 $50 million colts. No one wants to help the corporates, but they're also going to have to start marketing better service as protest payout goes out the window. Find the good bloke that caused the interference and move along. Can't see a loser.
Well, I don't mean to, be a complete wanker like I am, but I sort of said that 2 or 3 years ago. I've said it a few times, and every person I talk to on the track about what about the dead heat, they go, I've never heard anything more ridiculous. So racing folk that I've spoken about it don't embrace it, unlike you.
No, but I'm saying if in doubt, dismiss. It's got to be clear.
But what they're saying, what this bloke is saying is, okay, there is some doubt, so dead heat.
Yeah, but
I'm saying give something to the horse that actually won the race if there's doubt. Yeah.
Well, they thought there was no doubt and it should be upheld.
Isn't the problem that if you declare it, it's an easy way out, and so they're more likely to take it rather than actually enforce an upholding?
It's a good point too.
If you're going to uphold it, it's just got to be obvious. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah.
So
you're saying it's got to be $1.01 every time.
Pretty much.
Matt, did you watch the stewards montage of the Interlocutor?
I sure did. I watched it. I watched it intently because I was involved in Interlocutor in a multi, so no protest payout.
Yes.
Only $4,000.
And what did you say about the footage that you saw? Because we hadn't seen that footage.
Yeah, the footage was good, but I thought I sort of saw that anyway. But the point was, I thought if Wanker goes through that gap, it gets sandwiched to the point of falling. So in the point, I think it actually had the better result, just to slightly hold up, go behind, whereas Interlocutor had to bump for 50 yards or...
So there's no way they would have taken that into account. They say there's a gap, the horse is entitled to it, therefore it gets it.
It's impossible for that horse to win taking that gap, in my opinion.
That's a very good point. The other thing that the stewards montage seemed to say was, if this hadn't have happened, Wanker would have won. And I cannot accept that at all.
That's definitely not true.
He would have had to wrestle between two horses for 50 metres.
Hi fellas.
I'm not even sure the other one really took its running that much, to be honest.
We are talking about a horse that is a touch of a non-line chaser.
Yeah, well, exactly. Now, the worst part about it was at the end of the process, and the way both horses went to the line, and I was like, oh, okay, Interlocutor was sort of fighting back.
Yeah,
he's like,
we're going to
uphill. I was like, why did you say that last part? Just to give me a little bit of hope.
I know, and then using the Sky Intel, I like the graphics, but the final graphic, it's like, yeah, we all know it got beaten a long head.
Oh, look, I credit to them for putting that video out. They did the same with Glenn's horse, and good on them, but I disagree with the...
Let's move on.
Hi fellas, just a comment on the protest. I agreed with your assessment at first. In fact, I thought it bordered on frivolous, but just watched the film released by the stewards. It totally changed my mind. There is no doubt in my mind they made the right decision. We've got to give credit where credit is due, and that was Dave commenting on what he saw the stewards release. He also goes on to write, hi fellas, listening to your show last week, you were a little critical of jockeys not wanting to criticise their mount's performance. While I agree with your comments 100%, you have to realise a jockey isn't coming from the same place as a punter. Some facts of life. There are some insults you can say to a person and it will be water off a duck's back. Like your mother wears combat boots, your wife is ugly, even tell them they are ugly. It won't cause a rift in the friendship. But there are two things that are strictly taboo and you must never criticise, else the friendship is doomed. You must never tell them they're a bad driver. Everyone thinks in their own mind they're a world-class driver.
And I am a world-class driver.
It is everyone else that can't drive. The second thing you must never say to an owner is their horse is slow. You will lose the ride on that horse and every other horse the owner has. Bad news takes special handling. As an example, a man left his cat with his brother while he went on vacation for a week. When he came back, he called his brother to see when he could pick the cat up. The brother hesitated, then said, I'm so sorry, but while you were away, the cat died. The man was very upset and yelled, you know, you could have broken the news to me better than that. When I called today, you could have said he was on the roof and wouldn't come down. Then when I called the next day, you could have said that he'd fallen off and the vet was working on patching him up. Then when I called the third day, you could have said he passed away. The brother thought about it and apologised. So how's mum? Asked the man. She's on the roof and won't come down.
It's a great email. I had a good laugh when I read it. So thanks for that, Dave. That's very funny.
Good work.
This is a guy you might know, Glenn. Mark, how are you and the boys? You'll receive this after Monday Rant. I would like to bring your attention about a protest I was involved in 1992, Alishan Scalacci. Here we were, the Canterbury Stakes. Glenn may remember this as I was the punter that had a black leather money bag and was betting big with Colt Tidy. No ticket needed. I had a shitload on Scalacci. John Schreck had just arrived from Melbourne, this doesn't sound right, to be the head steward. Scalacci came around the bend under a throttle hold, got onto the wrong leg, never touched Alishan but took him out a horse and a half max. Came away to win comfortably. Guess what? Protest upheld. Colin offered me a gorilla for the taxi ride home. I was that pissed off I told him to shove it up his arse. The new version of the show is outstanding, and to the flip that doesn't think it'll get off the ground, it's called Word of Mouth. I have mates already interested.
And I do remember this gentleman. And I do remember the black bag punter. And I hope you will. And I don't know how you said no to $1,000 to get home in a cab. You never say no to money, ever. If you do $50,000, someone says, do you want $25? You go, thank you very much.
Greg said,
hope to see you back at the track one day.
Greg said, thank the Glens for a very small push into quick defence Saturday before last. The Mounting Mud Mail said, best I've seen it. So for a bloke who has a $250 bank each Saturday, $40 at $9 was a massive start for the day. Keep up the good work.
Thanks very much for that.
And you are flying, Glenn. The information's been fantastic, mate.
Yeah, so it could always be better, Gord. You know what I'm like. I'm never happy.
Oh. For me, you know, like...
Beat the shampoo horse. I was on it.
That was Imanui's race, wasn't it?
It was.
All right, we've got some quick little tweets and things here now.
Yeah, g'day lads.
Wrap this up.
Steve again from Monaco. My brother is a part owner of the horse Royale Effort, who was denied a fair start at Geelong recently. He was deemed a legit starter as he ran a place. What about my win bet? If that was Winks, what would have happened then?
Well, he's exactly right here. The barriers did not open. They opened, well, later than the other ones. It came out and it runs third and it's declared a runner. It's a very funny rule. If that was Winks, what would have...
It's a weird rule, isn't it?
It's a very funny rule. And what would happen if Winks at $1.09 run the place? Would they declare it a runner? I suppose they would because they have to. And they do follow the rules.
Wouldn't, you know.
Oh, they would for sure.
No. They'd protect her unblemished record by declaring her a non-runner.
It's
like the Terse thing. There's special rules for special categories.
I struggle to get that one through. If they've decided this is the way,
they don't struggle to get anything through. They're a law unto themselves. There's no final arbiter.
Yeah.
Well, they assume the owner wants the prize money, don't they?
Yeah, but in Winks' case, they don't. Yeah.
Different case.
Wasn't it great watching all those people with millions of dollars cheer Winks? Oh gosh, can we get the cameras? And
so Winks was on 60 Minutes last night, right?
What about poor Huey Bowman having to kiss all those old dusty women? Like, fuck you. Your 10%, your 5% is not worth kissing all those has-been women. It must be just awful. Find out if they've got some granddaughters or something, for fuck's sake. Oh, they were going to give you a big kiss. Fuck. Oh. Thank God he's a jockey he doesn't need. I would have vomited all over those women.
Well, I've got to admit, the only bit you've circled so far is the so you're still you're going to Sky's channel.
Do a bit of.
My job on the Punisher used to be to take all the edits out for racism and.
Right, you're busy. You're busy.
No wonder you're working 40 hours a week. Yeah. We're getting paid for it anyway.
Okay, so look, Steve also wrote, I laid Hutsuner last week after seeing Gordo laugh at the price. I have a 2-year subscription covered after one show. Thanks so much.
Well, that's a beauty, Steve, and that's the whole idea. We want everyone to try and work out a way to win money.
Everybody to win. Yeah.
Hi guys, just a quick question on form guides. Which form guide do you start with when doing the form for a meeting? I realise you analyse a lot of data along the way, finding your selections off videos, sectional times, etc. But just wanted to see what your foundation form guide is.
My foundation has always been the RaceNet form guide, and I've always clicked on the old, which was the best one by a mile.
Yep.
And now I believe it's all going to change again this week.
And we've got did you have a look at the preview of it?
Unreadable.
Oh, fuck, it's taking me ages just to.
It has boxes. It has all these boxes.
Yeah.
How many Group 1 wins, and the horse might be racing at Bathurst. Like, it's got that many dickies, but it is just terrible. So
where are you going to go? You going to sack them?
I will not be reading that rubbish. They've got such a great product. Why would they? And all we've ever done is wrap RaceNet. What a site it is. It's just terrible.
What about
why have they done this?
Yeah.
Why have they done these things to us?
Yeah, ratings to win. I use that, and that's my first source.
So have you got a large screen?
Yeah,
because I've got a small screen, and I can't do it off the screen.
Yeah, no, I've got an extra screen, so it can just come across.
Right, so you've got like a TV size something.
Yeah, 27 inches.
Please, RaceNet, listen to your customers and anyone with the feedback that gets the RaceNet form, email him in there and tell them, look, you know, you haven't really got much idea what you're doing.
But are we just being old and bitter and not wanting to change our ways? Of course.
Yeah, we don't want to change our ways, no, but why should we change our ways if it's worse?
But it's okay to have a discussion about that. That's the whole thing about the tension between the old and the new. So new things just don't get straight through. They've got a whole lot of people that are invested in the old, and so there's a discussion about whether this is good or not. Yeah. And whether we should let it through or not.
It took me 4 years to get over the paper notes going to plastic.
Oh, you're over that now, are you?
I'm over it now.
Fair income.
Yeah, you still want the grey nurses and the redbacks?
Grey nurse was a lovely looking
more
note,
grey nurses.
I used to have a suitcase full of grey nurses. I a fucking suitcase, chockers with greys. And I remember that when once I found a monkey in 50s, I was that dirty with myself for wasting the space when there could have been hundreds.
Rolls or flats?
Flats. $10,000 bundles.
Is that the one that Camille found under the bed and went to school the next day?
Dad just brings home big boxes of cash. Oh, God bless Miss Bondo. I love her so dearly. All right.
Matt, I actually start with the legacy form printout from Ratings to Win because I like to have paper in front of me. I like to look at stuff on the screen, consult stuff on the screen, but I actually like to...
Fair enough. I'm paperless these days.
And I said that to Paul. I should mention Ratings to Win because obviously there's two of us here that live and breathe Ratings to Win. And I said to Paul, I use the legacy form print. He went, oh, you're one of those dinosaurs, are you? Wow, I didn't think there were any of them left.
Ink costs too much.
Anyway, look, I love having a printout. I don't like commentary on my printout, which is one of the reasons I tend not to print out RaceNet, just because it's got little bits like the fluctuations or whatever you just don't want to see. So legacy form printout from Ratings to Win, which I absolutely wouldn't be without. What are we up to here? Tim Williams. He was very excited about seeing the keg on the Friday preview show. But he did say, dear keg, Bon Jovi wants his jeans back.
That's definitely true.
You wouldn't have seen him.
It's funny, when we were having lunch afterwards, I said, are you not going very well? And it's like, what? I said, well, you can't afford a pair of pants without holes in them. But
more for them.
Yeah, but they're more expensive, the ones with holes in them.
It's so funny, they cost $400 and you can't get into some places because your jeans are red. And someone walks in with a pair of Lowe's pants for $22.95 and they say, you can't. It is funny how things change.
Better Bon Jovi than saying a homeless man wants his jeans back, I thought. So. It's a wrap.
That's a wrap for sure.
Nev wrote, normally people complain when they write in, not this email. What a great win by Zanbar in Newcastle on Friday. Top weight, outside barrier 16-1. She and the second horse had the best credentials of the field going in with Group 1 placings. It was a pleasure to watch the ride from H. Bowman. He let us slide up to outside the leaders in the back straight, 3 wide, from the outside barrier 15. Then he got her a breather before they got to the turn, pulled her back off the leading 2 to be 3 wide, but seemingly cruising. There is 3 wide and there is 3 wide. 3 wide outside on a limb is a death knell. The other 3 wide in a natural V position off the lead is not that bad. What do you say about that, Glenn?
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Bowman is a master off gate 1. He's also a master at balancing horses that are wide. Remember Prada Miss at Rose Hill?
Yep. He's very Jake Cassidy-like in that.
Yeah. Bowman got her to this spot. They rounded the turn, and then her quality and strength saw her forge away. A great win at Trots.
Excuse me.
I should mention, of course, that I sent out the little snippet of Glenn saying that Zambar is going beautifully and is his Epsom tip. She, of course.
Well, I just said that there was a horse that followed in that race because she finished 10th of 10th, and you both two started laughing.
We're allowed to.
Yeah, I know.
That's very Glenster-like. He said, you went on to say it's got the Glenster form all over it.
Yeah, and then I had to cop it from Glenn and Clinton from bloody racing it.
Really?
Seriously?
He gave it to you too?
Yeah. He's all buddy-buddy with you, giving it to me about Zambar.
Well, we might have to break for this race. You got nothing happening here?
Hey, babe, how you going?
No bets.
No,
Yeah, right. I'm just filming the show right now, so what's up?
Bennett is being felt for. Great Love getting close to heels. And the last one is Charté, but starting to tack on. 400 out, Knockout Girl just leads around the corner from Witherspoon. A couple off to Anna Rose, then Great Love the inside as they straighten out now. And Witherspoon.
Okay, well,
down the outside this track today.
Yeah, look, at the moment, Ben might be having his going away thing on Saturday. So I'm not 100% sure.
Nice.
Okay, see ya.
Trial the second Aussie.
Yeah. Number 2.
There it is.
Oh, $500,000.
Had a great filly. Second horse had a great filly.
Great Love. Great filly, okay. Denman. Bjorn, another one for Bjorn.
One to follow.
Oh, Whit up
Great Love.
training the winner.
What's it called? Great Love. Nice horse.
Damien Flower owned the winner.
Oh, quick. Snowy, don't you bag it, you bastard.
So, a note to trial watchers. Last year, the Randwick trials were, I believe, were up the inside. This track with the rail out 9 metres for the trials, I've seen it favour the outside most of the heats.
Yep.
Hi guys, another great week from the Glenster. This is D Diamond. I was on course at Doomben on Wednesday and the Mounting Yard mail came in very handy. A fancy Coco Excel was very confident after push from the Glenster. The other great mail was for Parrette. I thought trials were okay, just needed a push, and when Mounting Yard mail sent it out, stated Parrette could be the best horse in the race. That was enough for me, so thanks Glenster. Just a little criticism. When Dicko sends through his Mounting Yard mail, could it be limited to a max of 4 horses?
Well, it's supposed to be limited to a max of 4 horses. What's going on here?
Too many times we get the top 4 picks followed by another 3 that may look well. Missed the I was the lone voice at Newcastle on Friday, making my feelings known on the form reversal of Broadside. Well, I know you say that, David, but it was the horse that was put to the sword in that ferociously run 1900 metre race at Rose Hill.
Yeah.
And
that was won by DIC.
What do you have chasing it down to? That was a pretty weak race.
How could I finish the email without mentioning Isa Rich? All congratulations to trainer Wayne Seelan. He's done a fantastic job with this horse. Bought for $7,500, has earned nearly $500,000. There are a lot of horses that have more ability than Isa Rich, but none that try so hard every time. See you Thursday at the Lismore Cup.
Oh, Dave's going to be there. Is he great? And he's quite right. What a great advertisement. And that Wayne Seelan, he does a bloody good job with some very unfashionable looking horses.
All right, so Glenn, you've watched that horse in his entire career.
Yeah.
What have you observed about the horse? Does it just look the same the whole time?
Does it just keep on getting
Well, he
better?
gets older, and as you get older, you get a bit more mature looking. As a horse, he gets more mature looking, but his SP profile puts me off from every start.
I know, he starts 25s every start.
He runs a place, you go, I can't have him today, and then he goes around 30s, you go, hang on, after the race, you go, he was 30s, I meant to be on him. Like I said, Monday evaluation's a lot easier, isn't it?
JP, he writes down from Queensland, and anyone that's interested, check out Justin's, I don't know if he's got a site or a Facebook page.
Facebook page, I think I've seen
Facebook page, I know he might have gone to subs only at the moment, but he does an outstanding job. He picks out horses on Sunday and Monday to win Saturday's races. He gets on these horses all in before the weights come out.
Wow.
And so he ends up with prices like $6 coming through to win on Saturday.
Wow.
So he's doing a really good job at sorting through the fields at nomination stage. So Justin wants to know, what price Minari to win the Golden Rose?
Thank you.
This Saturday.
I would say.
Second pick is Pariah, I can tell you that.
Well, then it's got to be 4 to 5, doesn't it? Or 5 to 4.
I said $1.80. Any opinion there?
I'm $1.80. I'd cop that.
I'd start at 4 to 5. What price is it?
I'll
Well, it
take.
was $2.75. It's now $2.25.
I'll take any black.
Okay, so we're saying even
he
stop.
can't lose.
Yeah.
He's a moral. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Gets the job done, he wins.
Matt, do you
I'm not of the moral. I don't talk like that, but it's best run of the lead up.
So when you listen to Gord, can you perceive the gradations in morals? There's that sort of moral, and then there's that sort of moral.
Yeah, I can tell.
So
Gordo has a good way of punching.
Kim Jong-un dropped the nuclear bomb in Newcastle, and we see the mushroom coming toward us. I know we're going to run that way. What do you just stand here and think which way to go?
Yeah, I think you've got to run.
Okay, so you're
To the car.
You know what? I'm not running because I'm saying it's not going to make much difference. I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, would you?
I'm going to run. I'm going to quickly look around and see if there's a decent looking Sheila and run over and jump on her.
Really? So right before you go?
No, I'd probably go to the bar for a drink, to be honest.
Oh, no,
You'd be much more likely to go to the bar.
The male of the species always thinks, I'm going to get one last one in.
No, it's not like you're
will
going to get a baby out of it or anything. Is
So-
it?
What if it was Denise Martin walking past?
Yeah, that's right. I said decent looking, didn't I?
So Glenn, in 10 days' time, it was your D-Day.
Yeah, I've called it off now.
But were you thinking that way as well? One last one in before the D-Day, to make it number 3?
A blonde, remember?
Yeah, I was thinking Adam Hieronymus. I'll give him one. He's a champion. Love it.
Another brunette.
So just
You're
say,
obsessed.
just say yes. Sean Fleming on Facebook, he said the RANT has become the top better of racing. Keep dribbling for love you long time.
That's not what that means.
Well, I think he's taking it. I think he's.
Does he like us?
No, we've become sluts. I think he's saying.
I think he was.
Okay, so he doesn't like us. Okay.
I think he was on the piss when he sent that in.
Oh, that's all right, Sean. No, we don't mind it. I like it. Is that from Sean or Jack?
That's from Sean. Jack, who we'll see at Lismore. Hello to Jack. He was hoping to get Nick Ashman on the RANT. I tweeted a photo of Matt and Nick doing and Aaron. I cut poor Aaron out of that photo.
Good, yeah.
But I basically wanted to say there were 2 comebacks on the weekend because Nick Ashman, of course, is making a comeback on racing.com.
And a lot of people will be looking forward to that.
In the bull ring, which I know there's had a few aspersions cast upon it. Matt, what's take on it?
What do you mean? What is the bull ring?
Well, it's this setup on racing.com where there's 3 guys representing 3 major corporates. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
And they're both.
They throw to them, what's the male at Bet365, and Nick represents them, and what's the male at Sportsbet, and it's a bit of a waste of time because all the same horses are firming at all the corporates at the same time, and
It hasn't started yet.
It started last Saturday.
All right. And what was it? Did you watch it?
I watched a bit of it.
It's unwatchable.
It's completely
If
pointless.
you're going,
It's pointless.
It's,
It's pointless.
Yeah, so that
BZ's hosting it, and
BZ be good.
he's doing his best to pull it
Well,
together.
they've got a couple of good guys on there, but the product's
yeah.
just shit.
It's
Well,
just
you don't need
pointless,
that.
pointless info.
Yeah. Okay. So but I mean, I presume the corporates are throwing some money at this.
Oh, come on, that's supposed to be on camera.
Yeah, the corporates have obviously sponsored the segment. And,
Yeah. Okay. So everyone's doing their best.
I'd imagine they'll change it up after the first week. It wasn't like there's probably better ways to
All
do
right.
it.
So your comebacks.
Well, I think
a
Nick
bit
would be
tastier.
Nick's good. He's just probably doesn't have much to work with.
All 3 of them have to say the same thing.
Exactly.
Because that's the way it works.
A lot of horses are firming, and those bookies haven't laid the bet.
Yeah.
They just have to make something up.
Yeah,
so.
but couldn't they be like making a case for a horse they want to lay? Nick, we've got nothing out of this 5-to-1 pop. Can you can you spin a yarn for it?
Well, Nick's so far away from the actual bookie's desk, he wouldn't know what they want to do.
Oh,
I suppose.
okay. So there's no, he's not. Okay.
Well, he might have their book in front of them, but
he might just bring his own
don't
brand
think
there.
Bet365 wanna lay him.
It is a loss to the industry not to have him on the main go here. And whatever he did would be nothing. And who cares anyway? But they're just all so politically correct, these people in powers to be, and they
It's
just.
big money, Glenn. It's huge money in the corporate world. I mean, that's the thing that we've watched racing go from the 80s, where it was like just on the level, to become big business in so many ways. Horses
We've got 8-year-olds out there addicted to U-porn, and yet you can't, as an adult, come on TV and say blah 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 blah, and everyone just get offended. Like,
well, that's because you'll be off the next day because they
Why?
can't dare to tarnish their brand. It's all about brands.
Brand
Well,
value.
I think we're headed for doom, so it's hard not to cheer Kim Jong.
Right, so you might reassess about the 10-day option.
No, I've decided not to hang
Can you
myself
sign
in
your
the tree.
shares over to me?
Oh, just because my shares are worth something all of a sudden.
As long as the memberships at the RANT are okay, Glenn's
yeah,
off.
yeah.
My Winks rant. This is from Greg from the track. Before Glenn carries on about how soft people are about Winks, sorry, but we need horses like her. People remember a horse like this because it affects you or touches you in a way that you feel a part of it. Look at 60 Minutes Peter Stevanovic. Has no idea about racing. Also looking through the eyes of my 5-year-old nephew. He knows she's the best and looks at her as a superhero. All sports, especially racing, need superheroes. Helps expose racing. Yes, she will be beat one day, but doesn't that make her any less a champion? I'm a punter too, so if you haven't made good money off her early career complaining about her now, you must have no idea about class. If you didn't take $3 about Happy Clapper and Winks out market, you're a mug. P.S. to all the knockers, please keep laying on Betfair, but put up a really good laying price. That's Greg.
At the track.
Look, I think I mentioned once upon a time I wrote about the fact that when I was 7, 8, 9, I was picking rugby league team, VFL team at the time. That's how old I am. Even rugby union. I was even picking a rugby union team, and I was picking a horse team. This trainer is in my team, this jockey's in my team. It was JB Cummings, it was John Duggan, it was Roy Higgins in Melbourne, it was Graham Cook in Brisbane, it was, I picked my team.
Yep.
And that was what got me involved in racing. And it's like, you get all these young kids, their dads are saying, what team are you going to follow, or are you going to follow my team, or you want to come out to the game or whatever. It's about actually identifying with something that you can make sense of. And that for me was very important. And I think that racing could actually look at sort of that sort of branding, that sort of team aspect, because obviously the kids are still getting into rugby league and into AFL, but they're not getting into racing.
Yeah, but you're going nowhere with that idea, Mark, because it affects the brand. For example, we have 17-year-olds that turn up here and can't get in without written identification. Did you know that?
Yeah, well,
you can't come in unless you're 18.
You used to get in free if you were 16 or under. They wanted you.
They wanted you. Now you can't come in. You've got to come in with an adult who's there. And I had a good bookie friend of mine, a friend of the show, and his son came to me that he was 17 and he rang his dad and said they won't let me in. His dad was working somewhere else, and he said, look, just grab the next person that comes along and just ask them to escort you in, And then the security saw him do it and they said, no, he's not a relative.
We're onto you.
We're onto you, you can't come in.
The security were a disgrace on Saturday.
Security are a disgrace at the racetrack.
Yeah,
By the way,
I
I actually told a security guard to fuck off.
Yes.
And
They are a fucking disgrace.
He's just sort of like,
They are
looked like
the
he
biggest
might do something
blight.
and just put his head down.
It's like the biggest blight on racing at the moment.
It's a
It's the
disgrace.
Saturday city game.
But you know why that is?
Well,
'Cause there's
when the
50
security
million
guards are
bars
more
in the
likely to
racetrack.
be committing the terrorist
but
act than the patrons,
do
it's a
we
problem.
need some fucking
How big
bloke
that
from
was
a
for you.
Lebanese background with an IQ of fucking 3 telling us what to do? Fuck them.
There's a cause and effect chicken egg here. You have that many bars, straight away you're creating that scenario.
You can get security that handle it in not such a heavy-handed manner, and look at people like they're just awful.
Treat people with a little bit of respect.
just
What about when
fuck
they're
off
walking
security.
through crowds and they make everybody get out of their way? No, they're the clients.
Yeah.
You walk around them.
I
You
agree
don't
with
try
you.
and barge through them.
I'm going to start giving it to them from now on. I can't
Right,
take it any
yeah.
longer. You're right. And to the ATC, like fair income, racing RANT is about it being involved with getting people to the track. And if you've got these Dumbo school fucking dropout ex-gang members with tats and fucking shaved heads representing you, you're a fool. You're a fool.
But as far as supporting the team thing is concerned, Dad taught me a very important lesson when I was about 4 and I had my first bet on a horse. He said, you cheer the one you got your money on. And that includes rugby league, soccer, everything that exists.
Yeah, my dad was very similar because I said, Dad, who am I going to go for? And he said, go for yourself.
Matt, are you doing any sports betting or just horses?
Nah, just for fun, the sports betting.
Is it ever fun, the sports betting?
It's not fun, is it?
No, it's tough.
But you just feel like you need to be involved sometimes. But it's 80 minutes sweat. I can't cop it.
Right, okay. And as far as the horses are concerned,
Yeah.
what have you seen since you were on the Punter Show, which would have been,
Yeah.
how long ago were you on the Punter Show? 18 months ago?
Yeah, probably. A little bit longer, maybe.
20 months ago. What's happened for you that's improved your
Oh, it's just, I think it just takes time. I've probably been punting semi-seriously for 10 years now, and finally 10 years, you know, from 25 to 35 or 34. I've finally got enough skills behind me to understand the market, understand what's a real run and what's a fake run.
You've got your routine down.
Yeah,
it is about getting in your
You used to
routine.
get trapped into those horses that, you know, the people promote, you know, flashing lights and all that sort of stuff. You get hardened.
Why would you get hardened?
And
by losing money, usually.
well, the best way, you can only do it by losing. And yeah, after 10 years of going at it, I finally got a little system.
Before you made the decision to go pro, were you part-time but profitable for a few years before that?
Yeah, but like marginal.
Yeah.
Yeah, marginal.
And then had to have an income to survive.
Yeah. And then a couple of good runs come together, and you sort of get your choice to leave your job, and you got to have a crack. And being full time, it does give you that extra time to put into the form, and you have to win. Otherwise, you got nothing else to do.
I think the greatest thing I can tell anybody about out there, and I see it all the time. I had a mate, he got 300 and something today at 370. There was a few of them involved. They got 2,000 at 370, but his share was 300, and he was telling me, and it started like 5 to 4 and shit in. He said, I was almost pulling its tail because I was only going to get back at 1,100. And I said, but 2 weeks ago you were trying to borrow a monkey off me because you had no money.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you have a couple of good weeks, so what are you going to pull? So never ever death ride any bet of yours. If it's the smallest saver bet and it's the only one in the finish, cheer it all the way to the line. If you should have had more in it and you didn't, still cheer it. I think the minute you start pulling on money because you should have had more, I think it's a terrible mind to fuck that. And you've got to cheer every case you can get.
Analyse what you did afterwards for a future perspective, how you can improve your return. But
yeah, exactly. We just got Mr. Blake Shinn on the side here, acting like a 6-year-old.
Shall we ask him whether he's the #1 rider for Snowden?
So, Matt, I'm going to do a Jake Williams to you here now, and say, is there any angle at the moment you're particularly keen on, or you've uncovered? You don't have to give it all away. But
No, there's one simple one. The one is the overreaction that happens at 9 o'clock or whenever some of the smart punters back a horse. You might back a horse.
Come on in front of the
$3
camera.
into $2.
If I could turn the camera now,
Blake Shinn, what do you
I'd love to. You're going to come and say hello to our punters, Shinny, because you're a punter's pal. Just come around the back here, mate.
Hippo's already been.
Now, here's a jockey you can follow the conference, because I watch him all the time, and he gives every horse every chance. Sometimes he fucks it up, but in general, he does a great job. How are you, Shinny?
Hello.
Welcome to the rant, mate. You're a kind man.
Proud to be on. Hello, punters.
What was that behaviour in the background? That looked terribly unprofessional.
That's something that you did.
That's what I did.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get him back.
That is something
Who went best for you today out here? Give us a name of a horse.
I rode a nice filly called Impetuous.
Impetuous?
Yeah, nice.
In the second heat, where did it finish?
Second.
Ran second?
Yeah.
It's quite difficult for these early 2-year-olds to be trialling at this tight track around Canterbury.
Well, they used to do it all the time, Shinny. When you were in Nappies, they always had the first set of trials here.
I much prefer Randwick, the open
And
strip.
just quickly, Blake, we went watching a few races and we mentioned the punters that it looked to be a little bit of advantage off the fence. Would you agree
On
with that?
Saturday?
No, it's here today at the trials.
Look,
You'd
be much more.
No, okay, you haven't looked yet.
no, I
Okay,
haven't
when you have a look, it does seem like the ones leading up, they get wide and they got over him.
Yeah.
Anyway, you'll check that out. He's a thorough professional, Mr. Shin, and it's nice to say hello to the rant. It's been a few years. You were on the Punters show once.
Public takes up its spot.
You've missed
was
the rant.
Was I on?
I don't think he was.
I don't think I was ever.
We had Corey. He was on first.
Gee, I thought you were on at one stage.
No.
Yeah,
No,
you came on when you were just coming back from being naughty. I think you did come on.
No.
I'm sure you did.
No, we had Corey, we had Glyn, we had
The rough
fuck.
and
Well, if we had Glenn, we'll have anybody. So. Thanks for coming and say hello, mate.
Pleasure to be on.
Good on you, mate.
See you guys.
good on you, Blake. So sorry, mate. Just finish off your little.
There's that overreaction of
horses,
smart
they
punters.
halve their prices, don't they?
They hire the price. That's your time to back the second pick or the third
Because
pick.
all the corporates, they have this algorithm which pushes the other horses
Yeah,
automatically
they're
out.
all scraping prices off each other like an average. And I used to work at a bookie, and I understand that. So yeah, just a lot of time punters are throwing dummies at 9 a.m. So don't be afraid to back the second or third pick at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock.
and get yourself in a situation where you can throw the dummies as well.
Spin's taking a
All right. See what I mean?
Starting to pick up nicely, Spinner, and it quickly races up to hit the lead with Performer
Yeah,
coming
down
down.
there.
Every race.
Performer in Spin, Performer the outsider, Spin, and Performer finishes.
Shinny, you see what I mean? Down the middle.
Then came Ruling Symbol.
Every race.
Further back to Republic, together with Sick Tonight, and last to finish was Reptilian Rider.
It's because
Third Performer, Hugh Bowman, stretching out well, and they're just getting there from Spin. They've gone well though, and
All right,
got the gap
okay.
between
They're falling apart.
quickly.
They're falling apart.
Performers had,
So anyone out there wants racing rants wants Blake Shinn's morning special, $33 on Saturday.
Only 22.
Just
You've got
getting you to tip on the show and you product. Just a joke, Shinny. See you, mate. Yeah, I know you would. See you, mate.
All right, well, that's the rant for this week.
That's a rant. And thanks so much, Matt Taylor, for coming on. He's our favourite Matt Taylor, even though we didn't mind Matt Taylor too. You're our favourite.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
All right.
A couple of lengths
All the
back,
best.
third place getter.